Minister. The next item is in the name of Deputy Joe Costello, the need to install mechanisms to protect personal information on mobile telephones. The Deputy's 5 minutes.
Leskin Corla. One of the indirect consequences of the recent scandalous events in the United Kingdom surrounding News Corporation, News International, and the widespread mobile phone hacking which brought Rupert Murdoch's mighty media empire to its knees, closed the news of the world and brought the entire Fourth Estate into disrepute, is to open up debate on the need for the mobile phone manufacturers and operators to protect the privacy of their customers. The actual act of newspaper editors and journalists paying individuals to hack into private citizens' phone messages, to glean personal and private information to be printed as exclusive front-page news is truly reprehensible and repulsive. The hurt caused to private citizens who were coping at the time with very tragic and distressing events in their lives is incalculable. They now have to relive these events and contend with the fact that their privacy and their innermost thoughts were completely and comprehensively invaded. The newspapers initially targeted, quote, celebrities, unquote, and justified their actions by claiming that these were public figures and as such fair game to the media. They quickly moved on to politicians and private citizens with no regard for their basic human rights. It transpires, Leskin Corla, that much of the hacking that was carried out was easily done because of insufficient security on mobile phone messaging systems. The mobile phone operators have simply set up a basic default password of 4 zeros for all phones. Therefore, to access a mobile phone's voicemail, any member of the public merely needs to place a 5 before the main number, press the hash key, and then enter the 4-digit password. In the early days of mobile phones, this was the only way to access phone messages from abroad. Now it is possible in many countries to dial the 171 voicemail callback number. Thus, most people are not even aware of the existence of a password to access their voicemail. It would be very interesting indeed to ascertain how many members of the Oireachtas, despite the recent warnings, have not changed their voicemail password from the default 4 zeros. I'd love to do a little survey and find out how many are still vulnerable to hacking. There are other sophisticated mechanisms for accessing all mobile phone data. Bluetooth technology, while providing huge advantages, can also allow data on mobile phones to be visible, to be downloaded and even corrupted without people realising that anything is happening. Earlier in the day I googled mobile phone hacking, which is the title of the Google website. There are almost 42 million results. Incredibly, millions of websites are offering free software to enable hacking of mobile phone data, and that's out there on Google. You can look it up anytime. There are even tutorials provided on YouTube as to how to hack into phones using Bluetooth. In these days of mobile data, so much information about an individual, so much personal information is contained on their mobile phone. The address book, the diary, the emails, the text messages. The mobile phone for many people is an extension of their daily lives. And unfortunately, it offers the peeping Tom an absolute insight into their most personal data. So what's there to be done about it? What can we do to sort this out once and for all? I believe that mobile phone companies should have an obligation towards their customers to protect their rights. They should be obliged to ensure that each account is secure and cannot be hacked into. There are a number of basic measures which should be standardised across all mobile phone companies, operators, which would protect consumers. Mobile phone operators at present have a default setting that allows unanswered calls to go straight to voicemail, as I mentioned earlier. I believe that there should be a requirement for the customer to set a new password before voicemail can be activated. This would immediately eliminate the 4-0 option. Moreover, phones using Bluetooth technology should also have a default setting that would ensure the user must actually grant permission for other Bluetooth devices to pick up the device signal and information rather than on the default setting itself. Again, how many members of the Oireachtas who use Bluetooth for their car handsets think to turn off Bluetooth when not in their cars, when they get out of their cars after driving? Because they render their phone data accessible through Bluetooth once it's not turned off. I'd say that this has happened to the vast majority of people, and this is very easily subject to hacking again. Mobile phone operators and mobile phone manufacturers have an obligation to ensure their customers' privacy and rights are fully protected. In the first instance, I'm requesting that the Minister to examine the possibility of legislation at national level. However, mobile phones enable global communication and as such know no boundaries. It is therefore important that action is taken at a global level. I have also already requested that this issue be placed on the work programme of the European Affairs Committee, and I will be seeking a European directive to compel mobile phone operators to protect their consumers' privacy. Thank you, Laskin.